On World News Tonight this Thursday, another heavy round of attacks against Iraq. What sort of damage is the U.S. doing? And how long will it go on? The impeachment debate in the House of Representatives will begin tomorrow. Why do the Republicans not trust Bill Clinton?
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Reporting tonight from Washington.
Good evening. We begin again tonight with the U.S. campaign against Iraq and the congressional campaign against the president. Washington is consumed by these two issues tonight, and everyone seems to agree that it's virtually impossible to keep them separate. The U.S. is now in the middle of the most intense attack against Iraq since the bombing campaign which led off the Gulf War in 1991. And there has been, the Pentagon tells us, no opposition today. Seen from here in Washington and from Baghdad, it is clear that the USA and to a small extent the British have been hitting a lot of targets, though it is hard to judge whether the effort is having the desired effect. We're going to start in Baghdad. ABC's Bill Blakemore is there. Bill, good evening. A status report, if you would.
Peter, it's quiet here for the moment, but this second night of attacks here, at least in central Baghdad, though not as sustained, has been heavier and louder than last night's. Just after 10 p.m. here, massive explosions shook the information ministry. A few blocks away, we could see fire, smoke, then more explosions. These were apparently the impacts of 2,000-pound warheads of air-launched cruise missiles. Damage from these attacks is hard to assess from here. After dawn this morning, we could see smoke from a few places in the city center. But Iraqis let journalists see little of the first night's damage up close. This rice factory in the town of Tikrit, a burst water main in Baghdad where a missile apparently went astray. Beyond this, Iraqi officials said only that sites hit last night included military installations, national police headquarters, a number of factories, which they say had no military function, and a school for mechanics. Journalists were taken to a hospital to see a few seriously wounded people.
427 sites.
This afternoon, Foreign Minister Mohammed Sahaf charged that the attacks were launched on the basis of only 5 trivial disruptions out of 427 weapons inspections the UN made here recently.
They put it in the report. This is one of the violations. You have delayed us about 45 minutes. So you deserve to be bombarded.
Baghdad today was partly normal. Schools were closed, many shops were open. Just before sunset, we visited one of the markets. Where are the international laws? Where is humanity, complained this man. Why are other countries not treated with this harshness? This country will never die. Then the air raid siren sounded for the second night. And Peter, throughout all of this today, there has been no sighting of Saddam Hussein. The Iraqi news agency did say this morning that Saddam Hussein had spent several hours touring the damage from the first night's attacks, but there have been no pictures of that, so he is probably, apparently, playing the same kind of hide-and-seek he played during the Gulf War in 1991. Peter?
Bill, thanks very much. Bill Blakemore in Baghdad. The Pentagon did make the point today that they weren't actually trying to track Saddam Hussein over the last 24 or 36 hours. One thing to remember about our perspective from Baghdad, with which I'm almost positive Bill Blakemore will agree, in a country larger than California, we're seeing only a little slice, and we are not seeing much more here in Washington. As most military analysts know, hitting something, however it looks on television, does not necessarily mean you have accomplished what you wanted to accomplish. With that in mind, let's go to the Pentagon now. ABC's John McCarthy standing there to give us the perspective from there for the day. John.
Peter, first of all, Pentagon sources say it now appears that this air campaign is going to be over by the weekend.
The U.S. has gone after more than 50 targets using planes launched from aircraft carriers, cruise missiles fired from ships, and B-52 bombers.
We are targeting military or militarily related targets, period.
On the list, air defenses, factories, palaces, and laboratories suspected of making or storing chemical or biological weapons. General Hugh Shelton, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, showed aerial photographs of Iraq's intelligence headquarters in Baghdad before and then after the strike.
You'll notice down here, there's nothing left but rubble.
There were also photographs of the barracks of Saddam Hussein's Special Republican Guards before and after.
Out of the 5 barracks, 4 of the 5 were destroyed.
But neither Shelton nor Cohen could say if the buildings were empty when they were hit. Cohen claims U.S. intelligence had indicated the Iraqi leader was caught by surprise, not believing that the U.S. would strike with the Islamic holy period of Ramadan just days away.
He felt that there was no chance that the United States would take any action.
The U.S. is relying heavily on cruise missiles. In fact, last night, more than 250 were fired from American ships, roughly the same number used during the entire Persian Gulf War in 1991. In one night, the U.S. fired, at $1 million each, nearly 2/3 of the ship-launched cruise missiles in the Gulf today. Pentagon officials were quick to point out that more are on the way, arriving with a second aircraft carrier task force tomorrow.
And Secretary Cohen today was quick to deny that the U.S. was trying to track and then to kill Saddam Hussein as part of this air campaign. It is unclear whether that is because the U.S. has chosen not to do so or because no one is able to find him. Peter?
Thanks, John. Yes, did note that he said he didn't want to destabilize the regime as a goal, but it would certainly be nice to have it as collateral damage. However long this campaign against Iraq goes, and you heard John there say it might be over by the weekend, the recent history of the U.S.-Iraqi relationship suggests that most people in the country believe Saddam Hussein is certainly a worthwhile target. However, here in Washington, there was not the traditional rally round the leader support that usually results while American forces are in action overseas. And over there at the White House tonight, Mr. Clinton has to deal with this along with everything else. Sam Donaldson is there tonight. Sam.
Peter, the president was expecting criticism from Republicans who suspect him of manipulating the timing of this military crisis. But he and his aides have been taken aback by the vehemence of some of it. And today they set out to try to counter it. Before a briefing from his advisors in the Oval Office, the president was asked how he would respond to such criticisms from Senate Majority Leader Trent Lott and House Majority Leader Dick Armey.
That it's not true, that what I did was the right thing for the country. I don't think any serious person would believe that any president would do such a thing. And I don't believe any reasonably astute person in Washington would believe that Secretary Cohen and General Shelton and the whole rest of the national security team would participate in such an action.
At the UN, Chief Arms Inspector Richard Butler bristled at the idea that his Tuesday report citing Iraqi non-cooperation, which triggered the military action, was part of a timing plot.
That report was based on the experts of UNSCOM. It danced to no one's tune. It was not written for anyone's purposes, including, as some of you have suggested, for the purposes of the United States, for example.
No,
And when it comes to the timing of the impeachment vote, the president said it would not undercut his authority if the House acts during the bombing. Mr. Clinton called key legislators to brief them on his policy, including Senator Lott, who today softened his criticism somewhat.
Some people have inferred, because I questioned the timing, that it was related only to the vote in the House of Representatives. It was much, much more than that.
Lott said he still questions the policy, but now that the action is underway, every American pulls together. On Capitol Hill, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, the CIA director, and the Secretary of Defense briefed key committees. But surprisingly, perhaps, members said the question of whether an impeachment debate might affect military operations never came up. House officials are carefully not making a public argument that an impeachment debate would affect the military operation, but they clearly hope others will. Peter, White House aides privately concede the president does not have the votes to stop impeachment in this House, and they would dearly love to find some way to be able to run out the clock on this Congress, which goes out of business on January 3rd, if at all possible.
Thanks very much, Sam. We'll come back to the impeachment debate in just a moment, but an observation about overseas support. The strongest support for these attacks comes from Britain, whose warplanes, as we said, joined the attacks today. Russia and China are still sharply critical, and there is some strong opposition among the Arabs. Thousands of Egyptian students battled riot police outside the U.S. Embassy in Cairo today. And in the West Bank, a Palestinian teenager was killed in violent protests against Israel and the United States. So in a moment, we'll go to the impeachment process. Back on track, they're going to debate tomorrow morning.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Sunny Delights.
How are we going to get all these kids to even look at each other? I think Abby's afraid nobody's going to ask her to dance.
I think Brad is just afraid.
Sometimes moms can use a little help. That's where Sunny Delight comes in. It's got the taste kids love and vitamins you can feel good about.
Aren't we in social studies together? I'd love to dance.
Reach for the good stuff. Reach for the sun. Sunny Delight.
I can eat corn on the cob, and I can eat the apples, as long as I've got Super Polygrip on these dentures. I know that it works. I mean, it holds my teeth in place. Using the Super Polygrip, I can continue auctioneering. Bid 35, now bid 40, now 5, 45, now bid.
When they said the world didn't need another nose strip, we said we'll make one that gives instant relief of nasal congestion symptoms and is ergonomically contoured for a good fit. Introducing Clear Passage nose strips. After all, we're the maker of the Afrin brand, and who knows more about the nose?
No more excuses. Zyban is here. Prescription medicine, only available from your doctor. Ask your doctor about Zyban or call 1-888-650-PILL to find out more. Zyban. Now you have another choice.
We said at the beginning of the broadcast that the attack on Iraq and the impeachment debate were now completely intertwined. The House of Representatives today overwhelmingly passed a resolution of support for U.S. forces in the Gulf. But having done that, members of the House went quickly back to the question of impeachment. As we said, the debate begins tomorrow. ABC's Linda Douglas is on Capitol Hill. Linda.
Well, and it seems to be a foregone conclusion that the House will impeach the president, but Democrats and Republicans plan to wage a ferocious battle for public opinion on the floor of the House. Now, today they could not agree on how long that debate is going to run because the Democrats wanted to put it all off until after the bombs stop falling.
Bob Livingston has not yet been sworn in as Speaker, but today he began leading the House, insisting that the impeachment debate cannot wait for the bombs to stop falling.
Do we just anticipate that the troops in the field will complete their business by Ramadan or by a time certain or by Tuesday or by Christmas Day or by New Year's Day or by 2 weeks into January? How do we assess when that mission is going to be complete? There's no way to know when the troops will have completed their mission.
Insisting their objections were patriotic, not partisan, Democrats pleaded with Republicans to wait.
We've got to also look at how Saddam Hussein will perceive the idea and the information that while he is under physical attack by the United States and its people, we are having a debate in our House of Representatives to remove the commander-in-chief from his office.
It would be a grave mistake to go forward with this vote while our nation is engaged in military action. I cannot believe that we are even having this debate.
But Republicans insisted the troops in the Gulf would want them to go forward.
Our fighting men are fighting for our constitutional privilege to do just exactly what we're doing here today.
And I think it helps the morale of our armed services if we continue to do our job.
Now, the debate under the rules is supposed to last about an hour. That is because the Democrats and Republicans have not agreed on time. The Republicans are going to use, Peter, a lot of bewildering parliamentary maneuvers to extend that time through the night Friday, perhaps into Saturday. It's still not clear how many obstacles the Democrats are going to try to throw in their path.
Okay, thanks, Linda. Just to remind people, the debate on the House floor begins tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and we will be covering it live, and we'll be back in just a moment.
I want to keep my smile for life, don't you? But everybody has plaque, the leading cause of gum disease. 3 out of 4 people will have some form of gum disease in their lifetime. You can do something about it. Interplaque by Conair is clinically proven to remove nearly all plaque, even below the gum line. Its unique cleaning action can actually reverse gum disease. And now the totally cordless Odyssey, clutter-free. Recharge in any outlet in as little as 10 minutes. ADA accepted Interplaque by Conair. Keep your smile for life.
Gosh, you know, I just went to use the phone. You say once you got back, your wife was gone. Yes, sir. Hello. What? Have you checked the hot enchilada? Oh, no. Millicent gets terrible heartburn. Not this time. What's that? Looks like the remains of an individually wrapped Pepcid AC chewable.
Introducing Pepcid AC Chewables, the first chewable to stop heartburn before it starts.
Millicent? Is that you?
Start living heartburn-free with new Pepcid AC Chewables.
Kids today need to learn patience. My son knows when he does the dishes, he has to take his time. First, the pots and pans have to be set aside, then soaked, scrubbed, and carefully loaded in the dishwasher.
Introducing new Cascade Plus, packed with amazing power pre-treaters that blast away tough food problems you thought your dishwasher couldn't handle. Where other detergents fail, new Cascade Plus leaves incredible results. Perfect. New Cascade Plus, leave the tough stuff to us.
Americans love to travel, from the East Coast to the West Coast, even the Midwest. But we don't like spending a lot of money getting around. During the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event, you get the best of both worlds. With Chevy Malibu, the car you knew America could build. It can travel up to 100,000 miles before its first scheduled tune-up. And now it comes with low 0.9% APR financing or big cash back. So if you want to see a lot without spending a lot, get to your Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event. It's the season for you.
Bill Clinton's credibility is a big issue in this town tonight. As you know, the president has been criticized in the last 24 hours for deciding to attack Iraq on the eve of the impeachment debate in the House of Representatives. Mr. Clinton says that no reasonable person would believe that there is a connection. The truth is, a lot of serious people here believe there is a connection. Here's ABC's John Cochran.
From the start, it was clear Republicans were not going to give this president the benefit of the doubt.
What we question is the timing of the president. The day before the articles of impeachment are coming to the floor.
Is there anybody who doesn't question whether or not President Clinton has political motives? Is there anybody who doesn't question that?
And so we had to act, and act now.
The president ticked off his reasons. He had warned Saddam Hussein in November. On Tuesday, UN inspectors reported Hussein had failed to cooperate. Beginning the bombings after Ramadan started would have outraged Muslims, and his military advisors wanted an immediate strike to prevent Hussein from dispersing his forces. So why do so many Republicans not believe him?
My sense of his capacity to be less than truthful has grown over the years.
Long before we ever heard of Monica Lewinsky, Republicans were angry with Clinton because they felt he had lied to them and because he had beaten them. Remember the budget fight that led to a partial shutdown of government? Republicans still believe Clinton conned them and set a trap for them. Now they say he will never con them again.
The trust level obviously is low among a lot of people with the president.
And they have particular reasons for distrusting Clinton on Iraq. Republicans feel he has never had an effective policy, and Porter Goss, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, who will hold hearings next month, wonders why Clinton did not consult with key Republicans before the bombing.
Suddenly, at the decisive moment, be left out in the cold on this is a question that I'd like to explore a little further.
So, this is your nation's capital, a town full of bitter mistrust.
If you had to imagine an atmosphere that would be more poisonous or make it more difficult to get things like Social Security reform done, it's hard to imagine one worse than this.
And yet, go outside Washington, and most Americans find it inconceivable that the president would order airstrikes to gain nothing more than a short delay in an inevitable impeachment vote.
Regardless of domestic politics, yes, I think that something needed to be done, and this is probably about the only thing we could do.
The timing of this, I don't think, can be laid at the president's door. It really was driven by Saddam Hussein.
To those Americans who still trust Bill Clinton, Republicans have this to say: we know him better than you do. John Cochran, ABC News, Washington.
Well, when we come back, we'll talk a little more about this overt disdain in this town and some other places for Mr. Clinton.
I'll see you. Hi, man. Me too.
Me too.
Ah,
the credit card game. We've all played it. I'll go 5.9%. That an intro rate? Yeah. First, you get a great introductory rate, but then it goes up.
So you'll raise us to 17.9% in 6 months?
Yeah. But now, if you have good credit, you can win the credit card game.
Let's make it interesting.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Too rich for my blood.
I'll call.
With the 9.9% fixed rate Visa Platinum card from Capital One.
That's a great hand.
It's not an introductory rate, and with no annual fee, all the perks of Platinum, and a low fixed rate, you may never have to switch cards again. Act now. Call 1-800-CAPITAL and start saving hundreds, even thousands of dollars a year. Call 1-800-CAPITAL. Apply today for the 9.9% fixed rate Visa Platinum from Capital One. In the credit card game, it's the winning card.
For an enjoyable weekend, avoid things like alarm clocks. Instead, grab a big Grand cinnamon roll.
What better way to unwind than by enjoying a hot, fresh Grand cinnamon roll?
They're not just big, they're Grands. Woohoo!
Honey, I'm going to Staples to pick up a few gifts. Be back soon.
Attention shoppers, looking for the perfect gift? Well, check out aisle 3 for great prices on Sharp mobile organizers. And save on Panasonic phones. No, not you! You, yes! And I, or any husband, would love one of those nice global chairs. I need the leather one! Get a leather chair!
For great gift ideas and over 7,000 items at guaranteed low prices at Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
Bacon! Bacon! Where's the bacon? I smell bacon! 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 Gotta be bacon! Only one thing smells like bacon! That's bacon! Bacon, 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 bacon! There! From that bag! What's it say? I can't read! Please, please, give me what's in the bag! Chewy, yummy, smoky bacon!
There you go.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! No, 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 no! It's bacon!
No, it's Bacon Strips, brand dog snack from Purina. Bacon Strips. Dogs don't know it's not bacon.
It's bacon!
We are joined on the impeachment watch tonight by our political analysts, Cokie Roberts, Bill Kristol, and George Stephanopoulos. Cokie, let me ask you first, a little bit of the steam appears to have gone out of this debate tomorrow, even before it takes place.
Well, partly, I think, Peter, because people think the votes are now counted, and that the president, according to everyone who's counted so far, will be impeached. But it's also true that there's been some bickering between the parties in the House having to do with coming to the floor while the airstrikes are going on over Iraq. And so that it's going to be a complicated day tomorrow as the Republicans bring the impeachment matter to the floor and Democrats fight even having a debate on it tomorrow.
George Stephanopoulos, when we were talking a little bit earlier today, you were talking about how the Republicans and the Democrats appear to have changed positions a little bit on this debate.
Well, that's right, Peter. You know, the Democrats do know they're going to lose the vote tomorrow, but what they're going to do is try to win the spin. They're already saying that this is a lame duck Congress, a partisan Congress. Now they're going to add an argument that the Republicans are being unpatriotic, that they're not supporting the troops on the field, going forward with impeachment, even as troops are fighting.
And Bill Kristol, do you think we're going to be looking at tomorrow a debate which is really about post-impeachment, not about impeachment at all?
Yeah, I certainly think the Democrats are trying to lay the groundwork for saying this has been just a partisan, illegitimate impeachment of the president, lay the groundwork for appealing to senators to end this before it even begins in the Senate. Republicans will be trying to make the case over and over again. Look, we're vindicating the rule of law and impeaching a president who lied under oath, and we're vindicating the rule of law by going ahead in an orderly way here, despite the fact that our troops are engaged. The fact that our troops are engaged shouldn't deter us. Indeed, it should encourage us, in a sense, to go ahead and abide by our constitutional processes.
I'm going to interrupt the three of you because there's apparently something developing on Capitol Hill, so I want to go straight away to Linda Douglas. Linda, yes.
Well, as though the Capitol weren't already reeling, there is a story now out just moments ago on the Capitol newspaper Roll Call's Wire, saying that the Speaker-to-be, Bob Livingston, is now telling Republican members, they're all meeting together behind closed doors, that he's had numerous sexual affairs over his 30-year marriage. And apparently, Livingston, according to this roll call account, is offering to resign. Now, we are told that Speaker Tom DeLay will try to stop that, so we don't know if Livingston has resigned. But the report again from roll call is that he was going to tell them that he would like to resign over this, or offer to resign.
Well, thank you, Linda. In a crazy week, let me go back to Cokie Roberts and ask you how you think this will land among the members of the House.
Whew, is what I think. This is very shocking. People were hoping that they were now in a stable place, that once they got impeachment behind them, that they could then move on to a new Republican team, a new Republican agenda. I will tell you, Peter, that someone close to the White House did tell me a rumor along those lines a couple of weeks ago, and I was shocked to have that person spreading that rumor.
In a phrase, do you think it'll have any effect on the impeachment debate?
Oh, probably. I don't think that it will change the outcome of the debate, but it could postpone the debate.
Okay. Another very small bombshell, or at least another bombshell here on Capitol Hill tonight, not to be compared with what's happening in Iraq tonight. We'll come back and continue this in just a moment.
When you serve French's traditional green bean casserole, made with the tasty, crispy crunch of French's French fried onions, it'll disappear as quickly as the holidays.
Smile, you've got French's.
Life's an adventure because you're over 50 and still exploring. So take the Centrum made just for you, Centrum Silver, with age-essential nutrients specially adjusted to keep pace with your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver, it's a great time to be silver.
FiberCon or Metamucil, both have fiber for regularity. But I like FiberCon better.
Same natural action of fiber, but only FiberCon contains calcium.
And with FiberCon, I get my fiber in 2 caplets.
FiberCon, fiber and calcium in a convenient caplet.
Every holiday season at Mailboxes, etc., 2 customers bring in 30 dozen shortbread cookies for us to package and ship for them.
I do most of the cutting, and she does all the finishing touches. We both watch the oven.
They have to be packaged very carefully.
They don't even jiggle. They don't juggle. They fix them, stabilize them.
They got their all in one piece.
Not even a grain of sugar off.
Mailboxes, etc., making the holidays easier worldwide.
No more excuses. Zyban is here. Prescription medicine, only available from your doctor. Ask your doctor about Zyban or call 1-888-650-PILL to find out more. Zyban. Now you have another choice.
ABCNews.com, the first place for news online. Get your news first from ABCNews.com, on the web and America Online.
Well, it's been another extraordinary day in the Middle East and here in Washington, the second day of attacks on Iraq. As you heard earlier in the broadcast, more than 50 targets in the first wave, more than 250 cruise missiles. We do not know precisely what's going on at the moment, but nobody will be surprised to hear that there's another wave of attacks again tonight, our time in the United States, which will be very early in the morning Iraq before the sunlight comes. The impeachment debate here in Washington is set to begin tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and you've heard just a couple of minutes ago the latest news about the incoming Speaker Bob Livingston, that he may be offering his resignation to his Republican colleagues based on difficulties, to use a very broad term, in his past. We will keep you up to date with everything that goes on. I'm Peter Jennings. Good night from Washington.
Crisis in the Gulf and crisis in Washington. Stay with ABC News for the latest on the strike in Iraq and the impeachment vote. And don't miss World News Tonight.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now always on.
He sees you when you're stealing. He knows when you're a crook. He knows if you've been bad or good, so give back whatever you took. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not lie. I'm telling you why. Mr. Chappell's coming to town.
Vengeance Unlimited, ABC Tonight.
The national championship game, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, January 4th on ABC.
Now, News 2 at 6. First, fast, accurate.
More missiles fall on Baghdad during the second wave of the U.S.-led attack on Iraq. Good evening, everyone. Air raid sirens wailed as anti-aircraft tracer shells lit up the sky over Baghdad for a second straight night.
As the U.S. and Iraqi officials assess damage from the first assault, hundreds more missiles pounded the Iraqi capital.
We are concentrating on military targets. We are not attacking the people of Iraq.
The United States military confirms at least